I want to welcome everybody to another unusual episode, a more relaxed episode of Recovery Today, sponsored by the Recovery Resource Center of Salisbury, Maryland. My name is Perry Gadurgis. I'm the host of this show for the last almost 2 years, and I'm a person in long-term recovery as well as a professional background in the addiction recovery world and a little bit in the media world. And we decided recently with this quarantine to let's do this Zoom format. And I right away decided that my first guest in doing this new format would be John Shinholser, who John is founder and director at the McShin Foundation in Richmond, Virginia. He's been to Salisbury a couple times at the local detention center and spoken about recovery at Special Assembly, as well as at the Eastern Correctional Institute a few years ago, and was the keynote speaker at the Lighten Up annual fundraising breakfast for the Recovery Resource Center. So having said all that, I want to welcome John to the show.
Well, thank you, Perry. Thanks for inviting me, having me on. You just covered a lot of ground, so I don't have to reintroduce myself. But it's always a pleasure and honor to be on, not only in your presence, but on one of these recovery shows. So thanks for having me.
Okay. Well, John, digging right in, I know you're a person in long-term recovery, and I'm wondering, how are you personally navigating this this new world order, so to speak, or whatever we want to call the new normal?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, you know, like my home group never quit meeting, even though we got locked out of our building. We've been meeting down the street in a park, you know, no more than 6 feet apart, bring your own chair. So I was able to get my home group in every week. And then me and my wife, Carol, which you know well, our house is kind of like a little recovery center in itself. So we have our regulars that come over and hang out. And then I do get online a little bit more due to Zoom meetings and whatnot. So as an old timer, I'm much better equipped to deal with this, you know. So, you know, personally, I think I got high class problems when it comes to this. So I'm very blessed, very lucky.
Yeah, so you're reminding me right off the bat that I know I've been to many Zoom meetings, 2 over this time. I actually was in 4 of them yesterday, just by chance, to some degree, including a friend of mine's 39-year recovery anniversary. And the big theme that I have been hearing is the issue, and you brought it up, gratitude, just this state of gratitude.
But also should have added that because McShin, our recovery center, we've stayed open this whole time with the greatly reduced operation plan, you know, because of the shelter in place, COVID-19 protocol rules, social distancing. So I've been very fortunate to be able to come down to work every day, help the newcomers coming into recovery for the first time. So, you know, I get a little extra bump than most old timers in recovery. So I've still been able to maintain my connection to, you know, the hope shot the newcomers need. So, you know, like I said, I got high class problems, man.
Yeah, and so little history. When did you and Carol create the McShin Foundation, and just sort of a little history about it?
We've been operational 16 years. Okay. And, you know, we started in a 56 square foot office, and now we're in a 15,000 square foot facility with 122 recovery resident beds, facilitating in 3 different jails, which the jails have kicked us out because of the COVID-19.
Yes.
So, but, you know, yeah, we've been operational for quite a while now. We're doing really good. Of course, COVID knocked us back tremendously. But, you know, we had a little money in the bank, and we're able to access some of the government, you know, the PPP, payroll protection funds. So we got some good contributions in recently. So, you know, we're probably where we need to be, with the exception we just don't have the contact with the newcomers that we had, you know, 3 months ago. You know, we still have some, but, you know, we would have 500 consumer visits a day come through McShin, you know. Wow. Now we got like 20 of our program people. You know, we cut our staff back by 50%, but we still got 15 people on staff. You know,
do?
A lot of them working from home, isolating from home and whatnot. So.
And a lot of your workforce are people in recovery as well, right?
They're all in recovery. 100% of our workforce. Every now and then we get a non-recovering person on our staff, but yeah, right now 100% of our staff is in recovery.
Okay, so to just balance this for a moment, here in Salisbury, we have the Recovery Resource Center, and they've had to, their meetings that they hold there, and mutual support groups, 12-step meetings and some workshops, seminars, they've had to go to Zoom for a number of those. But they've also offered something, I think you offer something similar. In Maryland, it's called a safe station, and our local health department facilitates that. And so that's a 24/7 service that we're able to provide in Salisbury. And we're going to put the phone number for folks who might want to call that or access that of being in immediate need of support, treatment, recovery. Do you guys do something similar?
No, it's things like the Safe Station, the Angel Project, PARI, those things you see in communities, well, they've been sort of bureaucratized in Virginia and in the Richmond metro area. But we're very fortunate, though, because we have multiple recovery organizations in the Richmond area. You know, we have over 1,000 sober beds in the metropolitan Richmond area. So we have a lot of capacity. So I guess that takes the burden away from the public safety operators. You know, we should have safe stations and we should be manning them, but the bureaucrats and the authentic recovery people, you know, they just, their battle line's been drawn, and for whatever reason, they don't want to, you know, utilize us at the level that they could. But at the same time, like every day we get somebody here from jail, fresh out of jail. People automatically know to go to McShin. They automatically know to go to these other agencies. So that's a good thing. So, you know.
Yeah, and I applaud that work because, as you know, I've gone a couple times to your lock facilities and regional lockups and the peer recovery support you offer in those institutions, that I know you're trying to create a bridge, a linkage, so when guys and gals do get out and need that recovery support, it's great to hear that you're doing it. And I've seen you do that firsthand, and it's amazing work.
Yeah, we got good recovery game in Richmond, no question about it.
So for the listeners that are watching this, because this will also be on the YouTube channel, so you can share this and others can see this if they don't see it broadcast live on our PAC 14 local public access channel in Wacomico County. But what would you say to somebody who is watching this right now or later, that how should they navigate the current things right now if they need treatment, or if they're getting close to a relapse and they've had some time or maybe new time, as you mentioned earlier, the issue of connection. So what would you say to folks?
If the consumer puts in the effort, there are a lot of warm lines, a lot of Zooms, a lot of virtual reality meetings, a lot of live streams. There's a lot of the virtual stuff out there. But McShin's still open 7 days a week. You know, they can still come here, and there's still other recovery centers. Well, I think most of the centers are closed, but a lot of rabbit 12-step meetings, you know. But Zoom is the place to go. But if you need a personal connection, come to McShin. They're guaranteed to get one. You know, we got reduced hours, you know, 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 12 to 5 Saturday and Sunday. But because of our recovery center, we got 2 recovery houses right on our campus.
Okay.
There's always a smoke shack where the kids are stacked up smoking. But, you know, you got to use the social distancing. It's really important to do that. And I think this week we started back up doing the outdoor meetings here every night. Groups of 10, 50 feet apart if a second group pops up. But it's important to continue with the, you know, don't be hugging, shaking hands, you know, wear a mask. You know, you gotta follow the suggestions and the guidelines for safety. So we're getting it done, though.
What about family members? I know you do
We
some
have,
family support.
we got we still have our family meeting on Wednesday nights, the Zoom meeting. Any family
Okay.
member can call here. We got a counselor, family counselor we can Zoom into any family member at any time, basically. So it's more challenging to do the stuff through Zoom, but we can still do that. And I think all the local agencies are continue to operate and invite phone calls and Zoom calls. So, just because we're not aligned with them daily and communicating, there's a lot of these other providers are doing the same thing. If you put the effort into it, you'll probably get a result, but it's harder. You got to work harder.
So that's what's important about having an advocate or somebody that can kind of navigate what can sometimes be confusion for folks. So we are going to list your phone number on here, as well as our host to this show, our local Recovery Resource Center, and encourage people to call and you'll get a voice. And as you said, there is a wide selection. I don't know about you. Are you going to some meetings on the West Coast on Zoom, or I did one?
Most of my Zoom meetings have been international.
Yeah,
I got friends all over the world, so I've enjoyed those. I have not been on one local Zoom meeting in recovery because I still hit my home group. I still got my group down here at McShin. I do every Thursday morning at 10:30, and I still have. I still have good connection to my people I see regularly, but I do like those international meetings. They're actually pretty good.
Yeah. It's just accents with different people saying the same thing. Recovery's possible. Yeah. It's important to connect, and it's important to do service too. And that's kind of one of the last questions I wanted to ask you as we're winding up. And that is, as people are navigating their recovery early, this issue of service and being able to give back. Now, during this current time, what would you tell a semi-newcomer how to do that?
Here's the problem, because you're right. Newcomers need social, physical connection, but they need to be given tasks and duties and service work.
Yes.
So it's almost impossible to get a newcomer engaged in that social service work that's so vital. But what I've been telling all the newcomers, I say, look, you guys look around, because we got those sober houses, those recovery houses. And so you always got people in the houses that need help. I should have the cleanest recovery houses on the East Coast right now. My yard should be looking the best. Our foundation should be spotless. So you got to localize, do what you can do, but you have to do something unconditionally, expect nothing in return. So it sounds like, we're on the same page all over. So, look, I really appreciate you having me on here too, by the way. And if I can ever help you guys, let me know. And always feel free to call me and contact me.
Okay, we're going to also put your website address up, the McShin.org, I believe. And you got podcasts as well. So people that are watching this,
we're hanging out a lot of virtual stuff. Every day we got podcasts, live stream, videos on our Facebook page. So we haven't missed a beat on cranking out content.
Yeah, you got some great staff. I met Alex a few weeks ago on one of these meetings.
Right.
And that other project that John's doing. And it's just amazing. It's a new world. And I see the positive in it. And I assume you do too, that you're embracing, making lemonade out of this lemon, so to speak.
Well, we got high-class problems, me and you, but we still can't forget about that newcomer,
Yes.
So.
Yes. So there's a lot of hope still in this journey.
The hope deal is at the end of the day.
Yes. Okay, John. Well, I'd love to shake your hand or whatever, or elbow it and drum it.
I love it, man.
Yeah, can't figure that out so good.
Yeah. All right. More later, man. I love you, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right. I love you too, John. Thanks again. And to the audience, want to appreciate you watching this show and know that there is resources like the McShin Foundation that's more regional to the area of Mid-Atlantic, but also our Recovery Resource Center right in Salisbury that does still have a stay station and also is still hosting, making available the Zoom meetings for the meetings that were happening there. And again, you can go to the McShin Zoom meetings as well by going to their website. And so again, we hope that you will take advantage of these resources, either as a family member or a person struggling, suffering, or even close to a relapse. When you don't have to, there is support for you. So again, thanks again for watching, and we're done.